Now, part of the reason why I'm switching from Cubasis 2 to Cubasis 3, multiple fold. Hey everyone, it's Ian the producer. Hope your day is going well. Alright, I promised I was going to look into Cubasis 3. Here's the video. Let's get to it. Whoosh. We're going to look into a few points here. So I've got a few notes here. So if you see me looking this way, it's not because there's anything bad happening. It's just because there's a lot of thoughts I had about this application going in. Spoiler alert, Cubasis is the best DAW on iOS. Based on my experiences though, I've already looked into Beatmaker 3 as well. I can confidently say for now, Cubasis is the best DAW out there. But at the same time, would it be my favorite DAW? I don't know, I'm still biased towards GarageBand for iOS. But that's not what this video is about. Let's look into Cubasis. So, Cubasis is an audio and MIDI workstation. It's currently only available on iOS and Android, and Chrome OS, and iPad OS. Yeah, it's available on 4 different ecosystems. It's also available on the PC and on the Mac, but that's called Cubase. So, it's an application that is designed with a traditional DAW in mind. In other words, once you open up the application, you're presented with a screen that contains the tracks view. In other words, Cubasis is a tracks-based workflow. Now, before Cubasis was a thing, there was this thing called Cubase. Now, Cubase is the desktop version of Cubasis. You could flip that whatever way you want to say. But Cubase came first. The desktop version came first before the iOS and the iPad OS and the Android and the other platforms came. It was created by Steinberg. Initially, it was only a MIDI sequencer. Yeah, Cubase was only a MIDI sequencer. So all you Nano Studio 2 users, that company that doesn't have audio as of the film of this video, listen, your best DAWs, they started out as MIDI sequencers. But then they slowly added features on top of it to make the application what it is. Here's something interesting I found out. In 1999, Cubase introduced the virtual instrument standard called VSTs, or plugins as we know. This meant other developers could make their own applications and use it in Cubase. Yeah, plugins became a thing because of Cubase. Now I suspect it's the same drive that inspired them to make Cubasis, because of the fact they're pushing for innovation and trying to find ways to make music more accessible and reachable to more people. That may have been what inspired Cubasis. Now I may never know, I never really got the chance to talk to developers. I'm just making stuff up on the fly because that's the way I roll. But I mean, if you think about it, they moved from PC to Mac. Now they're currently in the iOS ecosystem, and in 2020 they came to Android and Chrome OS, and who knows, they might come up into other platforms. VR might be it, and I really don't know where Steinberg's gonna go, but I don't know, I thought it was really worth looking into. Let's fast forward into 2013 though. So Cubasis came out around 2013, September 2013 I believe. I got this information from AppSci, so don't quote me on that, but from what I saw, it came out in September 2013. At this point, Cubase, the desktop version, was already a mature DAW. Although Cubase was a mature DAW, the device that we know as the iPhone or the iPad, they pretty much had pretty weak processors. I mean, I'm talking about like 16 gigabytes of storage on the iPad. Cubasis was like 4 gigabytes to download, and imagine the OS taking 5 gigs. At that point, you probably wouldn't even have much apps or projects available on your phone. So, Cubasis came out in 2013, I believe. It went through a lot of iterations, a lot of improvements. It became Cubasis 2, the same application, Cubasis, became Cubasis 2, and it kept on going through a lot of feature additions, improvements, bug fixes, and the never-ending cycle of dealing with Apple's BS updates. I mean BS, no, I really do mean BS. Apple's updates are pretty BS for app developers, because every single time an update happens, they have to pretty much change it. What I'm saying is, the app was in constant development, and they've been adding features to the application. And then yeah, in 2020, the big change happened. No, I'm not talking about that C word. I'm talking about the other C word. Cubasis on Chrome and on Android and on other ecosystems like the iPhone. Cubasis 3 was launched. Now let's share my thoughts a bit more about the application. Yeah, I told you this was going to be a bit of a longer video than the ones I normally do. I don't want it to drag on for too long, so let's just get to it. So I started out the video looking into Cubasis 2, but then I got a good grasp of it pretty quickly, honestly. Like, I could make a simple song. But then again, I was like, if I'm looking into Cubasis 2, and I'm going to have to relearn Cubasis 3, why don't I just do a simple project in Cubasis 2, and then move on to 3, so I can give a fair understanding, and understand, okay, what's the power of the iPad, and what can I do on the go on the iPhone to get the best experience possible. Hence the reason why I switched to Cubasis 3. Now, I mentioned earlier that Cubasis workflow, it's a track-based workflow. That means each track is used to represent an instrument. So the track can be a MIDI track, it can be an audio track, and it can be a group as well. That was something interesting I found out. That you can make groups of tracks.
A brand new group will be created
Cubasis.
with a new color, and then above that.
So there's a lot of information in Cubasis, on the top, on the left, on the bottom, that it's pretty overwhelming at first when you look into it. I'll try my best to go into all the sections I found that could be helpful. The top of the application, this is where you see the overview of the important settings. So you've got stuff like the media bar, the keys and pads menu, the mixer menu, the exact timeline position, and a few basics like the locators to find specific parts of the song. You can also find the tempo bar directly there, where you can use it to quickly set the tempo, as well as the time signature. You've got the loop icon, you've got the play icon, you've got the record icon, you've got the metronome to help keep you in the right tempo. So these are like the base features that you see at the very top. Again, you don't need to memorize them. As you use the application, you'll figure it out one step at a time. Now, right below that very top bar are the tools which you use to customize whatever instrument you have, whether it's a MIDI or an audio instrument. You've got the select to select multiple events, notes, and more. You've got split to split particular points. You've got glue to merge tracks together. You've got erase to erase stuff. You've got the ability to draw a new event. And you can slide right to determine the length of an event. Usually, like if you want to extend a MIDI track or something like that. You can also mute specific events. You can undo and redo events. You can copy paste. I mean, you gotta be able to copy paste, let's be real. That's kind of like one of the features you expect of a DAW, to be able to copy and paste. And you've got some advanced tools like transposing and pitch shifting and other tools that such as quantizing, which allows you, and also the ability to snap notes to the grid. And you can even use the time stretch algorithm. I'm not going to get into detail on all this stuff, but it's just worth mentioning because these are stuff a lot of people would just miss, because initially it looks overwhelming, but take some time and you appreciate what the application can do. Okay, I'm almost 10 minutes in this video and I haven't even started making a song, so let's change that. We're gonna make a song in this video.